Today is all about that gardening to-do list in December. There are a couple of things I want to tackle in the garden. We need to mulch, we need to clean leaves, we need to set up feeders and a little birdhouse. I also need to cut back dahlias and winter begonias. There is still a lot of upkeep that needs to be done at this time of year. It's not too late to finish planting spring bulbs if you still have some. Generally keeping things tidy and continuing the jobs from fall. So I already published a gardening to-do list for October, and a lot of these jobs can still be done now. So let's start. I'm really excited this year to finally have enough room to add some bird feeders. I decided to get two smaller pieces where you could put in fat balls that we could hang in the tree. I really love the look of them and they were pretty easy to set up. I just made sure to raise them off the ground and place them, low enough that the cats couldn't reach them from the branch. So fear not, even though it looks like Simba is very interested and very close, the birds are safe. I really checked and they can't get to the birds while they're feeding. I just used some nylon fishing line to, hang those because it's resistant to UV and it's strong enough to support the weight of, the bird and the feeding. And so far so good. It's actually been a couple of weeks now since I installed these and it's holding on pretty nicely. I think about not 1 minute after I went back inside, to check if the birds were gonna come, that I spotted this blue tit, which is so cute, and clearly the feeding point has already been found, so I hope it's helpful to them over winter. And I wanted to do even more to welcome the birds in the garden. With the neighboring trees, it's always full of life and I want them to feel welcome and to be sheltered over winter. So I picked up this really cute birdhouse and I decided to stain it. One, to protect it, and two, getting it darker would help it disappear and blend in a little bit more naturally with the surroundings. So I did 2 coats of that beautiful deep stain that we actually already used for a Christmas makeover. Sadly, there was a little bit of glue from the pieces being glued together, so the color is not perfectly homogeneous, but I think 2 coats for now is going to be fine. I had some wonderful begonias in here in beautiful jewel tones and fiery colors for fall. Well, now, same as dahlias, as soon as the first frost hits, they need to be lifted and stored so that they can flower again next year and be protected from the harsh weather. The principle is the same here. You just cut off the old bloom stalk and try to remove as much soil as possible. You could hose them off, but I don't think I'm going to bother this year. I'm just going to leave them to dry. And this is what they look like. It's really not much to look at, but they do produce some really beautiful flowers. We'll leave them to dry off a little bit and then we'll store them. so cute. Look, we already have daffodils peeking through. That's exciting. If you haven't done so already, it's now time to cut back dahlias. As soon as the first frost hits, you should see some frost damage on your leaves and your stalks. Your buds are completely gone, and it's now time to cut back the plant to the ground. And then you have two options. Either you overwinter your tubers in the ground by covering them up with some mulch, some old compost, and creating a thick protective layer so that they don't get damaged by frost. Option 2 is to lift them, clean them, and then store them in a frost-free place, like a garage, for example, until it's time to replant them the following year. So this year I did both. I lifted the ones that were in containers where we now planted some spring bulbs, and the ones that were in the flower bed, we had a lot of beautiful color throughout the season. I'm leaving in, and we're going to mulch high today to try to protect them. This was one of my favorite this season, called Silo Noel. Okay, I just got a new rake that's specially made for leaves, and I'm hoping this is going to make the job easier. I do have a blower from Ryobi, but it's not working really well for us here. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way, and it is really time to save the grass from all those leaves. And actually, leaves are a very precious resource. You can reuse them to mulch. You can also create fertilizer with them by placing them in bags and leaving them to rot for a few years. You create what's called leaf mold, and that's very rich organic matter that you can then use to feed again your garden. I also decided to pile them up in a corner in our little woodland area. I do want to build my own compost bin there, but in the meantime, it's still an area around the tree that will benefit from, being fed and from that really good earth that is going to be created over time. Be careful not to step on your lawn though if you had a frost, because that can really damage the grass. So definitely try to wait until it's a frost-free day to do that lawn care. And you could also aerate it at the same time. Something I hadn't done yet is to mulch on top of the spring bulbs that we just planted. Just got some new mulch and it's looking very red, but it's all we got, and that's gonna help protect the bulbs. It's also fire season, and we're very lucky also in this new house that we have a fireplace. So we did stock up on our wood, and that little garden cart was so handy. So it definitely made it 2 years in a row in my 20 best gift for gardeners. So go check it out. I just released a new gift guide for gardeners for 2023. There's still a little bit of time for those last minute gifts. So if you're in need of inspiration, head over to that video. Thank you so much for all your kind words and comments, for being here and watching the videos and supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me, and I'm really grateful that you are here. So I'll let you know about the posting schedule, but know that this might be the last video of the year. And if that's the case, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a lovely time. I'll see you next time. Bye. Happy holidays.